Hello, planet Earth. Welcome to my YouTube channel. We're at IDK and my BFF Jill 730. I'm Preston L. Young, wishing you warm salutations and congratulations. You've made your way to the Buffington Post. Today, it's time to recap and review Buffy the Vampire Slayer Season 10, number 22. It's In Pieces on the Ground, Part 2. So, previously on Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
At the end of Season 8, Buffy broke the Seed of Wonder in Willow's heart by destroying our connection to magic in the world. Willow went on a whole soul-stretching journey to bring magic back into our world, and it's back. But all throughout Season 10, we've had Willow just kind of not doing anything much at all. She got a job with this Theo Daniels character that we met in Season 9. She continues to be just knocked out anytime some kind of magic mojo happens. She broke up with Alowyn, the
sexy snake lady,
because Willow's growing up and she's changing, and Alowyn's not gonna because she's immortal, and she decided that it was better for her to be a person who grows and not try and fuck with people who are all trying to spin you in which direction. But aside from that, Willow hasn't really been doing much of anything this season. Buffy's been trying to grow up too. She and Spike are in a new relationship, well, a new version of their relationship, and for all intents and purposes, the Buffy relationship is going really well. Everything looks really good for Buffy and Spike. They are communicating well, except for the fact that this Dylan character, who shouldn't exist, from Spike into the light, whatever, she showed up and now she's here, so we don't know what's up with that. On top of all of this, with the fancy new rules of magic and all this other cray, we've also got this demon blacksmith that opens portals from this place to this place and everywhere else, and it's creating hell on earth, so we still don't know where the demon trio is keeping the restless door, but also, everybody's working for the military. Riley and Sam are working for the military, Kennedy's deep scan operation has gone military, and also Satsu just invited Buffy to go and play military representative to get the vampires on our side to try and protect against this whole restless door crazy.
Here we go. It's Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Season 10, issue number 22, In Pieces on the Ground, Part 2. Here we go.
Thank God for a friend like you. The darkest night, the light shines through. Thank God there's someone to come so home, my cornerstone, I'm not alone. Thank God for a friend like you.
So our cover is actually really cute. We've got Willow kind of teaching magic to the military. So the issue actually opens up a week before the events of Buffy Season 10, number 21. And we see Willow walking around her new job with Mr. Theo Daniels. And they talk, and we go into what he calls the war room, and we see exactly what Theo Daniels' whole operation is all about now. He's been contracted by the government to help them scientifically and magically defend against all of these interdimensional rifts that are opening up and creating all of this hell on earth that we've been dealing with in this arc. We are introduced to the very sexy Lake, who heads up USUC. And she introduces us to the idea that the military is also working with the Magical Council. Yes, D'Hoffryn is here, and he has got these other members of the Magical Council with him, and they're working with the US government, apparently. And D'Hoffryn likes coming to the Theo Daniels place on Thursdays because he likes the tacos. Now, Willow is not too thrilled about this whole idea, but after it's explained to her that the people who were running the military during Twilight aren't the same people that are running it now, because now that everybody knows about magic and it's a kind of demon free-for-all out there with this restless door, they can't be as ignorant about magic and how it works. And so they want Willow to keep an open mind, and she is, and she's basically saying, I need to talk to Buffy about this, but they are, of course, about to go and ask her to talk to Harmony and Vicky and figure out whether the vampires are going to play with us. And so they ask Willow to sit on this information for a week, which she feels very uncomfortable about. So then we pick up with Spike and Dylan, who are in the bar, and Spike says, okay, hey, I'm gonna lay it out to you straight up. I'm in a relationship, and basically, Dylan is here to say, oh, I'm not here looking for you. How pathetic would I be if I kept chasing some idealized romantic hero in my head? But, you know, I'd been thinking about you and the way you inspired me to be a better version of myself, and I started to really grow up and I wanted to pursue my art, but I just didn't know how. But she says, I saw you on TV fighting the Dracula Malocur monster, and you were just so real, and I thought if Spike can do all of this and be a vampire the way he must be, all of this crazy stuff, like, I could go and do my art thing. And so she's actually become a pretty semi-successful artist. She's at least got her stuff in a gallery and she's having a show, so good for her, and she invites Spike to her showing. So of course by this point it's been a week and Buffy and Willow are talking about Willow's job and what it entails, and Buffy's just really upset with Willow for not telling her about this whole military situation and all this other good stuff, and she can't believe that Willow's even entertaining the idea of going to work for them. But Willow says, I am. Willow can do a lot of good where she's being asked to do it. And Buffy says, that's all well and good for you, but I just feel like you've betrayed me. We haven't really been spending much time together as it is, and for you to go behind my back like this, it just really sucks. And the military, we lost all these girls. And she talks about this one girl that she watched die when they were attacked in Tibet. But Willow, hey, she's got her point of view and she's supposed to be able to express it and do her own thing. And she says, Buffy, you just always are making everything about yourself. And Buffy doesn't like that because she does want to make everything about herself. And so she storms out of the room. So we see what Willow's job entails. We pick up in Montana and there are these flying brain monster demons that have all mentally and psychically enslaved the townspeople, and the National Guard there are about to have to open fire on the townspeople who are their friends and neighbors and family because they can't penetrate the force fields around the brains. But Willow shows up, flashes her badge, and starts attacking the brain monster demons, and while she's got them entertained, the military guys are able to kill them. And Willow just saved a shit ton of people, and she's been saving a lot of people, which is what she was trying to explain to Buffy, that what she's doing is actually making a difference, and she's saving lives. Definitely more than Buffy's been doing lately. She can't even find the demon trio, and so we see that this is really fulfilling for Willow. This is her whole life has been about this, trying to find a way to make magic work, not just for herself, but for others. So we pick up with Buffy, and she's talking to Spike about what Willow said, and she wants to know if she really does just make everything about herself. But Spike, he doesn't want to choose sides. He says, I can see it both ways. I see where both of you are coming from, and you both have different principles, and that's a part of growing up. You have to learn more about each other and about yourselves, and sometimes that means, growing up and not liking what the other has to say or do. So then she sees the little flyer that Dylan gave Spike about her gallery, and she's like, what's this about? And he says, oh, I just didn't know if I really wanted to go. It's an old friend, blah, blah, blah. She's not even an ex-girlfriend, but I thought it might be awkward. And she says, this doesn't bother me. It doesn't matter if she were an ex-girlfriend. What bothers me is you're keeping secrets. Willow's keeping secrets. You're keeping secrets. And she's just so frustrated. Spike says, I'm sorry. You're right. I should have come to you straight away about this and been upfront with you and all this good stuff. And Buffy says, just try and be my friend. That's what I need you to do. Just be my friend. And he says, well, that's easy enough. But Buffy, she's thinking about Willow, right? And she's like, if Willow can't even be my friend, how can I trust anybody? Speaking of Willow, she's working a late night with the very sexy Miss Lake of You Suck, and she and Willow are just talking about, their lives and how Willow's been super busy on all this stuff and she doesn't want to keep Lake from, whoever it is that she has waiting at home. But Lake explains that she's so all about her job that her girlfriend moved out and she didn't realize it for 3 days. So she doesn't really have anybody to go home to, and so they keep flirting. And so a few nights later, she and Lake are out on a date, and they're talking about how conflicted Willow feels about what's going on with Buffy, and we find out that Willow's pretty much been avoiding Buffy for the past 3 days. So Lake starts to really level with Willow. She says, what you do makes you happy. What Buffy does makes her happy. I have friends from my life, and they can't understand my life at all. They're living on farms or married with kids and all this good stuff. They can't relate to me and I can't relate to them, but doesn't mean I don't care about them. I'll always have those memories and I'll always love them, but people grow apart and it's a part of growing up. And yeah, people grow up and they grow apart, but not Buffy and Willow, right? I mean, they're Buffy and Willow. They're best friends. They're not just gonna stop being best friends because they take different paths in life, right? So we pick up at Dylan's art show and we see how fulfilled she is by Spike's inspiration. And she is got some pretty good art, they say. I mean, I don't know if it's good or not because it's comic book art. But anyway, they talk and talk about how great Spike was to inspire her. And she's heard a lot about Buffy because Buffy all inspires him. And she talks about her art and how fulfilled it is and how she thanks him for that and how he should get back into doing his poetry because he tells her that he hasn't really been doing it a lot lately. And she actually gifts one of her pieces to Buffy and Spike for them to take back with them because she just, Spike's her friend, apparently. And this whole time you might think that Buffy would be jealous of this Dylan character, but no, fuck Spike and his Dylan character problems. She's got real problems. Things aren't good with Willow, right? So Spike says, I know she's been avoiding you, but she's got to change her panties at one point or another. So just go in, talk to her, stake her out, do whatever you can do, but just talk to your best friend. And she says, okay, I'm going to go do that. Holla back. So Buffy comes in and there's Willow. And they talk about their issues. They talk it out. And basically they come to the realization that they're grown-ups and they're friends and they're going to keep growing up, but they're never going to grow apart. Just because Buffy doesn't necessarily approve of what Willow's doing doesn't make what Willow's doing wrong. Buffy doesn't like it, but that's fine. They're best friends. They're not gonna let some petty bullshit like this get in the middle of them. They are so much better than that, right? So they're gonna go eat ice cream. And that's where we end the issue. Okay, so this issue is super late. This issue is so late. Willow, I don't know. You were supposed to get this job back in number 10 is when you went for your interview, okay? So I don't know where this job has been this whole time, but this issue is super late, not just because of Willow's getting into Theo Daniels' workplace, but also getting Buffy and Willow back on the same page. We've needed this since season 9, really. I mean, we had it, but then things got bad at the end of season 9, and it was just crazy, and we've been needing this for a good long while, so I appreciate it, I really do, but it's late. We are coming into the very last stretch of the season, and this is what they want to throw in. There's nothing bad about this issue. I actually like it. The more I think about it, the more I like it. I like that Willow's in the workplace, and I like that she is being fulfilled with her magic and being able to weave her magic and technology in a new and interesting way, and that's something new for her, and it's something good for her. She can feel good about herself. She can actually put all of her talents to good use, and Willow's really motivated and driven, and so this is something that she can really dig into, which is great for her. Spike, I love Spike here. He's super awkward when it comes to Dylan, and he's kind of awkward when it comes to Buffy, but look at Spike. He has tried so hard throughout the evolution of his character to become Buffy. He wants so badly to really be Buffy, because Buffy is kind of this perfect poet that he could never be, because everything Buffy says is just such poetry, and Spike really wants that. He wants to be Buffy, and here he is being Buffy. He showed this person how to be better, just like Buffy did him, and she's showing him that I see you as a real person and not just some idyllic figure, which is great. It relates to the way that we want Spike to start looking at Buffy. Not as an idea, but as a person, which we talked about in the last issue. So the Spuffy stuff is really good, but just Spike himself, it's nice to see, even though this Dylan character shouldn't exist, and I'm not going to say that she should, but, we're given what we're given and we're dealing with it. I think that it's great that this Dylan character can be so inspired by Spike in the same way that he is by Buffy. I think it makes a lot of sense for his character, and it's great to finally see that for him. So good on you, Spike. It's always great to see DeHoffrin. He shows up, talks about Taco Thursday. It's funny, and that's all you really need of him. I like that we keep DeHoffrin around just because why wouldn't we, right? He's like the badass version of Clem, right? And so I really do enjoy that. I like this Lake character. I like that she's really kind of type A, She's very level-headed, and she tells Willow pretty much exactly what she needs to hear, only because it's not true. I mean, it's true for some people, but it's not true of her and Buffy. And for this person to lay it out to Willow like that, it's what she needs, because nobody really can get on Willow's level in the same way, because Willow, she doesn't have a spike. There's not like one romance that's going to be all encompassing in her life. She's got a job to do. She's really focused on that work, and we've seen that from season 8 to now. She's really focused on that work, and so it makes a lot of sense for her to be drawn to someone like Lake. So outside of Dylan's art show, we actually see a homeless man, and I don't know if that's any kind of foreshadowing or if it's just something there to say there's a serious homeless problem in San Francisco right now. So I think it is just that. I think it's just the artist saying, hey, yeah, we're in San Francisco and we have a serious homeless situation going on here. And so I do like that. But then again, he might be the guy in the statue and like not Giles, right? And I do just really like that Buffy and Willow are friends and they know it, and they're not going to let some bullshit get in the way of it, and their lives are constantly changing, but, your friendship is going to have to evolve, but it doesn't go away. Not for your best friend, you know what I mean? Like, come on, that's our best friend. No Dawn, no Xander, no Giles. What the heck? No Andrew. Okay, but the variant covers for 20s 3 and 4 were previewed in this issue, and okay. Andrew is on the side of the demon trio with Buffy's scythe, and Jonathan has been risen from the dead. So it looks like Jonathan is coming back to life. That's something that they just kind of dropped down way in like number 13. They just kind of got done with that story, so that's really neat. Oh, and I will say that they did this gag with Willow and Buffy that they just did with Buffy and Angel, where they both go to awkwardly say something to the other, and then they're both like, ha 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 ha, oops. Which is why I didn't take a photo of it, because, hey, you've already done it. So that's, like, that part really just took me out of it. I was like, oh, we literally just did this joke 5 issues ago, so that really kind of pulled me out of it. But other than that, I would say that this is better than last month's. Oh, and hey, let's talk about Dylan, right? Like, how shitty is it of them to tease us with this, oh, maybe Spike's gonna cheat on Buffy? Like, no, it was just like I was saying, Spike's not gonna cheat on Buffy. He doesn't go around behind Buffy's back, but at the same time, he did. Buffy didn't like it, but of course, made it all about herself. But anyway, that's all I've got for today, you guys. I hope you're having a great 2015 so far. It's almost over, but the Buffington Post will remain. You can come right back here to the Buffington Post anytime for Buffy the Vampire Slayer reviews, Angel and Faith reviews, Buffyverse discussions on the other Slayers, and more. I'm Preston L. Young. Have yourself a great day, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Well, it's been a long time, glad to see your face. I knew we'd meet again another time, another place. Can't believe it's been so many years. You better grab a chair and a couple of beers. Looking good in your 3-piece suit. You know I always knew you'd take the business route. You were always the one to follow the light, and you look like you're doing alright, yeah. Been singing for my rent and singing for my supper. I'm above the below and below the upper. I'm stuck in the middle where money gets tight, but I guess I'm doing alright. I'm alright. It's a beautiful day, not a cloud in sight, so I guess I'm doing alright.
So our cover is actually really cute. We've got Willow kind of teaching magic to the military, and oh crap. Also, everybody's working for the military.